Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and today I'm reviewing Ward Traveler from Office Dog Games. I'm actually pretty sure it's just Office Dog, not Office Dog Games. I have a tendency to add games to the name of every company because half of them are called games. Anyways, Word Traveler is a 2 to 5 player cooperative game of trying to figure out where all the players have been going as they play through this little journey over here. The game is going to come with 4 different maps for, I believe, New York, Paris, London, and Tokyo, if I'm not mistaken, are going to be the 4 maps you're going through. Each one does come with its own little traveler guide to kind of walk you through what these icons are. Not necessarily for the game, but in case you wanted to know what this is, or what those are, or what these are, the game comes with a little guide, which is a nice little way of both helping you in your clues and also being a little informative and educational. But the general idea is the game is going to play out across 2 rounds. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be gathering these clue cards over here, and then trying to decide where to direct other players. So for example, let's say it's my turn right now. I'm just going to walk you through this. I'm just going to do it right now. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and open up our little travel passport. This is a little hidden from the other players. Players, keep in mind, are doing this all simultaneously, and they're doing so with the timer running. You have 4 minutes to determine your pathway. So I know that we're starting over here. This is round 1 of 2. We're starting over here, and I'm trying to get to these various spots on the board in this little passport little mark over here. So for example, if I go over here, that's 1 point. If I go over here, that's 2 points. Those green stars are 2 points. But if I can go, let's say, if I can go down here, I'm going to list these masks over here. Maybe I'll go over here, then there. I don't know where I want to go. Maybe I'll go here, here. How do I get to even this? I'm gonna go to here, 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 here. I have no clue. Let's go that way. Let's go over here. Oh, I want those. Let's go down this way. Let's see. Either way, we're gonna have 10 cards over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 over here. These are gonna be the cards that we're using to direct our traveler. So for example, if I'm looking at my cards, which I think I have more than 10 because I grabbed too many over here. Let's say take a look at these cards, and I have rare and haunted and bold, and I have bumpy and buoyant and busy and calm and chaotic. Here, where do I think I can actually direct my people to? So, for example, Haunted's not bad. If I go down this way, I'm going to actually go down this way. I'm going to pivot my plans based on the cards I have, which honestly is a good way to do things. I'm going to take my first marker and put this down this way, and I'm going to illustrate this card is Haunted. I'm going down, and I'm going to somewhere that's haunted. I could also use other cards. We might go ahead and do that, but let's go ahead and try to figure out where we're going next. Let's say we go over here. We got this little city over here is one way we can go. We can also go back up to over here, but I think that's a little bit of a risk taker. We could go this way. Bumpy might work. Buoyant, busy. This is definitely busy. We're going to go that way. I'm going to gather busy and go this way over here. For our second trip over there, we're going to do that. And then where are we going to go from here next? We're over here. I think the only other spot we could go realistically is there. That looks like it could be rare, but then again, so can anything. We are going to go up, and we're going to see what we can do. We're going to say rare. And now that we still have some time left on our timer over here, we're going to see what else we can add. So for example, I still have bold, bumpy, buoyant, calm, chaotic. This could be chaotic, but then again, so could a cat. This is probably chaotic. Busy and chaotic is probably this. Let's put this over here. And you could also, by the way, flip cards to the other side, so it's bold or not bold is also a possibility. So for example, over here, if I'm going up here, what could be something I wanted to use? This is definitely not calm, I guess. Let's go ahead and put not calm. It's rare and not calm. Is that the direction I want to go? Do I really think that's the ideal option here? Bold, bumpy, rare, and not calm. I'm just going to go with that because honestly, these are the cards I have, and I don't want to spend too much time overthinking this. That's going to be round 1. The goal is once the timer runs out, you've constructed a pathway. The other players don't know where you're going. The only thing they know is if you're a player right now, you're looking and you see, hey, I'm starting over here, and I'm going downwards, which means here, here, or here, and I'm going somewhere that's haunted. Is it because of the wisps of smoke over here? Is this haunted? Is this nighttime and it's haunted? Or are these masks haunted? Maybe I think it's this one, because that one looks like the best option. We're going to put a 1 marker down here. I mean, the other players are kind of cooperatively deciding where they think you are going. But the next thought is I'm going this way, and I'm going to busy and chaotic. She could be chaotic, but I don't think this is busy. This looks like, this is a town. This is probably busy and chaotic. We're going to go down there for 2. And then we're going to go up. We're now going up. You can see the third step is moving upwards. We're going to rare and not calm. This looks calm, so it's not this. This, I don't know what's rare about this or not. I don't know. You could argue, like, a cat's not calm, but I don't know if a cat's rare, so I don't know why this is not calm. Maybe I'll go ahead and place it on the cat and whatnot. And obviously I'm just doing that just to show you how people can be wrong, because I obviously know everything I'm doing, I just did it. But anyways, once the players have mapped out all the spots, you're going to go ahead and take a look, and you're going to see which spots were right based on this passport over here, and you're going to get points on this track for each spot, 1 point for each blue circle, 2 points for each green star that you've gotten correct. That is day 1. Once you're done, your players are going to be in the spots that they ended up. Now keep in mind, you all planned your route simultaneously, then you take turns trying to figure out everyone's routes, and the points you're trying to get are variable based on the number of players in the game. So it does scale because obviously the more players, the more chances you have of getting points. Once all that's done, you're going to go to wherever your players ended up. Let's pretend that's where they ended up. And you're going to go to day 2. Day 2 is complicated because you're going to draw 10 new clue cards, but in day 2, you are trying to go to 2 more locations. You're trying to use 10 cards to go to 5 possible locations instead of the 3 possible locations from round 1, which means you have less opportunity but more places to go to. Although if you're wrong early on, you'll find that that messes up your journey, because if you go to the wrong spot, if I went to over here because I thought that was busy chaotic, suddenly I'm trying to find the wrong thing in the wrong column. So it is important to really try to track through all the steps to see what makes most sense from a full journey aspect and not just any one location. But that's the general idea. You're going to have 3 spots you're going to in day 1, 5 spots you're going to in day 2. You're going to add up your total points, see how well you did, and that is how you play Ward Traveler. Oh, I should note, when you go to day 2, you do flip this to the other side, so you do have a different set of locations that you're going to instead. And that is how you play Ward Traveler. Let's go ahead and talk about this in our review, what I like, don't like, and can see others not liking. Starting off with what I like, which is the general idea of trying to give clues to your teammates in this game through a degree of, well, whatever the game gave you. The game gives you these 10 words, and you have to try to figure out what is the optimal way to be able to utilize those words to actually guide people across a map of just symbols and what those symbols might mean or reflect. And that's not as easy as you might think, because not everything lines up. You'll frequently have to pivot your plans based on the fact that you got 10 cards. You wore, like you saw me over here, I wanted to go, where did I want to go? I can't even remember. I don't remember where I wanted to go. Let's pretend I wanted to go here because it's a spot that's worth 2 points. If none of my cards can work this way, I might pivot my plans based on the cards that I have. And so it's a lot of kind of a hidden non-verbal communication because of those clues you're giving, and trying to figure out not just what makes sense to you, but what makes the most sense to your teammates, because you have to think through, you're never going to have a perfect combination of words. Well, rarely are you going to have a perfect combination of words. What's really going to happen is you're going to have words that loosely fit something, and you're trying to think through, okay, great, this isn't, like, again, you looking back here, this isn't what I would call, rare and not calm. Nothing about this is rare and not calm. I mean, you could argue it's rare, but like, from the options they had, this might be the best option for rare and not calm. Adding the not calm eliminated this, which you can make an argument that's rare if you wanted, because rare is like, any of those things could be rare. It's not entirely clear. And so you want to think through not what is a perfect fit, but what is the most likely way that things are going to play out given the constraints that you have as you play. And I like that mental challenge. I like the mental challenge of trying to not think through a perfect answer, but the answer that is the most likely to the other players. As far as what I don't like in the game, sometimes the cards just don't work. Sometimes you get a hand of cards that either have too much similarities, don't reflect anything on the board, and from the 10 cards you have, I would say at least 3 or 4 of them are usually not going to be helpful for you, and that gets particularly tricky in round 2 when you have 10 cards and 5 locations, which means you're just kind of scrambling to make it all work, and it's not always going to. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, and you're kind of stuck with the luck of the draw and or the board situation. The other thing I don't like is once you pick a direction, you're kind of mostly set because of the way these cards work over here. Because once you pick a pathway, if I go this way, well, where else am I going to go next? Obviously I'm going down, and now where can I go? I'm going to go that way, and then that way, and then that way. So once you pick an initial pathway on these cards, your pathway is kind of set as far as the options you have, which I don't love that aspect. I wish, and sometimes there are choices, but I would say most of the time, once you pick an initial pathway, a lot of your path is going to be scripted for you. I don't mind the fact that you don't have complete agency over the board, but I do wish there was like a little bit more options as opposed to pick a direction and everything else just has to happen a certain way from there. So that's the other thing I don't like with these passports. I wish there was a bit more freedom to them. As far as what I can see others not liking, once you get lost in this game, you are kind of messed up on your entire pathway. Think about a 5-day journey that you have, and if you go to the wrong spot, if you go here instead of here, well, everything else they do is based on where they think you went to the first spot. So now when they go right, they're going this way and to this row, but they were supposed to go this row. And then when they go up, they're now going the wrong way too. Everything just is messed up as soon as you do one thing wrong in the game, and so that's something you might not like. I do like that, or say I don't mind that, because I do find that when you're in the clue phase, often trying to piece things together based on the whole journey is part of the puzzle. When I'm trying to analyze what you had in mind, I'm not just thinking, did this make the most sense? What I'm doing is I'm looking and saying, okay, well, I'm between these two, but if I go to the right, this one makes sense, none of these make sense, so it must be this one because of that one. And you can work your way through these whole pathways of logic across all 5 days, so to me that adds an extra element of the challenge to the deductive phase that I do appreciate and enjoy. As far as final thoughts on Word Traveler. This is a fun game. It's not the best game as far as this genre of games go, that kind of like giving clues to your teammates to make it all work, but I do enjoy this one, and the variety of maps you have, the 4 different cities, does give it a little bit more variety to the game experience and a little bit more longevity to the gameplay. But to me, it does fall into that pattern of games that I like that have a degree of trying to figure out what the optimal clue is based on certain constraints. And all these different games have different levels of what the clues are, what the constraints are. I do appreciate the little challenge and puzzle that Word Traveler gives me. It gives me satisfying turns, sometimes a bit too vague. Overall, it usually depends on the cards and the players, but it's one where I've played through all the cities by now, and I think it has a good number of games in it still before it's one that I feel the need to move on from. For right now, it's going to be a 3.5 out of 5. As far as other game recommendations, definitely check out Landmarks from Floodgate Games. This gave me vibes of Landmarks in the sense of those kind of clues towards a degree of travel, which is very much something that Landmarks did, and then ultimately the kind of mechanic that this game has, where it's not about the perfect clue, but it's about trying to figure out what the most likely answers are given a step tier of like, what do you think they're going to choose. This game is definitely very reminiscent of Codenames. I appreciate Codenames a lot, specifically because it's not always about what the best combination is, it's about what I think is the best possible combination from the pool of combinations, and this game did give me similar vibes to that as well. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.